An armed group of soldiers seeks to overthrow the legitimate government's armed forces. They kidnap people who support the government's development efforts. Anyone who works together with state authorities becomes their target. They deliberately create turmoil to undermine the stability of the government.
The case is strong, unfortunately because of the manner in which
the Special Operations Contingent of Army Unit 452 has initiated the formulation of a comprehensive strategic plan. Their approach entails clandestine infiltration of the Chani stronghold by inserting an elite operative or intelligence specialist to conduct an in-depth investigation into the principal architect of the conspiracy and to ascertain the entirety of the group's operational objectives. The Chani Consortium harbors a profound animus toward individuals who render assistance to governmental institutions. As such, they actively persecute collaborators and sympathizers of the state. Their ultimate objective is the orchestration of a coup d'état to usurp sovereign authority, with the kin and intimate associates of public officials designated as prime targets for intimidation, abduction, or elimination.
You did good, sir.
Yahand was one of the agents secretly infiltrated into their base. He passed every test in all branches of their military training, proving himself to be as capable as any of their soldiers. No one suspected that Yahand was anything but an ordinary serviceman. But in truth, Yahand was a top graduate of the U.S. military intelligence program, a special forces operative sent to uncover the mastermind behind their sinister plans. What dark scheme lies behind it all? And who are the powerful figures supporting them from the shadows? As weeks turned into months, Yahand gained their trust completely. He ate with them, trained with them, even bled beside them in simulated combat. Every move he made was calculated, every word he spoke carefully chosen. But the deeper he went, the more he realized this mission wasn't as simple as it seemed. There were hidden alliances, secret deals made in the dark, and whispers of a weapon powerful enough to shift the balance of global power. Files were erased, officers went missing, and orders came from voices that no one had ever seen. Yahand began collecting evidence in silence, encrypted data, coded transmissions, and hidden maps. Yet, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone inside already knew who he really was. They began targeting their victims one by one for brutal execution. Their captives' eyes were blindfolded, and their hands tightly bound. Then, they were taken deep into a forest, the place where those who supported the government were executed. Upon arriving, the captors released their hostages and ordered them to run as far as they could. Moments later, they chased them down and carried out the executions with merciless cruelty. That night, after they carried out the kidnapping, the captors brought their victim to a hidden hut deep in the forest for the execution. However, John had already discovered their cruel plan. Determined to save the victim, he secretly followed them by clinging beneath their vehicle. When they finally reached the execution site, John was nearly spotted by their commander. Frozen in fear, he could do nothing, alone, helpless, and forced to watch the brutality unfold before his eyes.
Fall in. You want to die right now?
When noon arrived, it was time for the execution. Commander Chain drew his pistol, threatening his captive. But before he was killed, he gave a final warning. "You will not survive in our hands." Chain was consumed by ambition. His dream of becoming president had blinded him. To him, every means was justified, no matter how cruel. If no one else dared to act, he would stain his own hands to achieve his goal. That is what greed looks like, stepping on others for the sake of power. But such power never lasts. What endures is not the rule of fear, but the legacy of kindness, the ability to help others, to make them feel joy and dignity. That is where true freedom is born. A true position of honor cannot be bought with money or built upon cruelty. It is earned through compassion, through the good one does for others. Only then can someone be called a true warrior, not one who conquers people, but one who uplifts them.
you.